It seems that all of the Kill the Justice Leagues, Concords, and Flintlock the Sieges of Dawns have not taught companies lessons that you first and foremost need to make a high quality, entertaining piece of content instead of one that pushes propaganda and generally has a color scheme and set of characters and environment that just do not click with gamers. And that exact problem is what Project Ethos is facing. It has already faced major backlash because people do not like the aesthetics, do not like the look of the gameplay, and to top it off, the company prioritizes inclusivity and diversity initiatives instead of saying, hey, we just want to make great games for great gamers. But now 2K has hired a former Respawn executive months after one of the project leads was booted off of this, and of course, this game has faced major backlash. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this is a title that was unveiled last year, and almost immediately it faced backlash. It looked like Concord 2.0. It looked like they were trying to put out another, we're just going to call it diverse team shooter, which isn't particularly shocking. Apex Legends, we have Kill the Justice League, we have Concord, we have Overwatch 2. We don't need another one of these games to add to the list. You need to be making a product with just a really cool aesthetic, really neat looking characters, good gunplay, and instead it just seems that all of these companies have continuously copied each other, and it's not working out for any of them. I mean, even Apex Legends, which I think is a pretty good game itself, has basically died at this point. The competitive scene is dead. Every single update doesn't get the numbers that the last one did, and I just think that this era of Slop shooters is kind of over. You need to innovate. You need to do better. But we know that this is a studio that prioritizes inclusivity over seemingly entertainment value. We know that on their web pages, they have these initiatives and their commitments. We know that every single character that we saw so far for this game seemed to be a minority, which I don't necessarily think is, bad. I just think that they're not doing it because they think these characters are cool or because these characters are going to click with people, but to say, look at us, we are doing better than the last company that tried it. But 2K has faced some major problems with this title already, and I don't think that the modern audience is going to show up to support this. I can't think of the last time a modern DEI shooter succeeded, except for Apex Legends years and years and years ago. But we had found out in February that 2K reportedly fired the boss at Project Ethos' studio after a lukewarm response. And of course, the Access Media was saying lukewarm response because they didn't want to admit that it faced major backlash. I mean, this is one of the main uploads on IGN's YouTube, 563 likes to 8.9k dislikes, so I wouldn't consider that lukewarm. Now, I thought it would be funny to read this one specific section of their Wikipedia page because it truly tells you all you need to know about 31st Union. They are based in California. No shocker there. Condry said in the announcement that the studio's ideals reflected the diversity of California's and Silicon Valley's spirit of innovation in art, technology, and entertainment and cultural representation. Condry had committed to establishing the culture of this studio on its founding, calling it a clean canvas and stressing the importance of diversity in the creative process. And as I always say, when you are passionate about your job and about a certain industry, anybody should be able to have an opportunity to be hired, especially in video games. I think anybody could truly make a game. Anybody could truly be part of this industry. But at the same time, when this is your focus, instead of actually just saying, yeah, we hire the best people for the job, but let us tell you about our games and the types of games we want to make, yeah, in my opinion, that's really not a good look. You should be putting the entertainment first and foremost, period. We had found out back in February that 2K Games had revealed a major change at Project Ethos developer 31st Union, confirming that the studio head Michael Condrey, known best for the Dead Space and Call of Duty franchises, was transitioning to an advisory role before an expected exit. Sources told Kotaku that he was fired, though 2K Games didn't use that terminology and maintains it is very committed to the game and the studio. And yeah, if they really expected this to be the next big game on the block, they don't want any drama to surround it before it releases, but they're already far past that, though it's been 8 months since this announcement was made, and they're only just now hiring somebody in his place, which to me doesn't sound good. So it appears that the development of Project Ethos will move forward as 2K has hired a new studio head at developer 31st Union. According to a report from Variety, Ben Brinkman has been hired away from Respawn Entertainment to lead the game. So he is leaving Respawn to go and create what really does look like a competitor to something like Apex Legends. Again, it's not quite the same, but it's pretty similar. It's got a very similar color scheme. A lot of the environment that we've seen so far looks relatively the same, but it says that he comes in to replace the former president Michael Condrey, who was fired back in February. It affirmed the promise of a roguelike shooter, but told us we still had work to do. It uncovered the need for a more distinct identity. It's been inspiring to see how far you've come. You took the feedback to heart and reimagined Project Ethos with a renewed vision, one that's poised to deliver on its promise to our players, which means they had seen all of the backlash they faced and decided to completely overhaul the game, which, hey, I think is good, but at the same time, I don't see a way that they could go that far away from it unless they completely started from square one. Nobody was interested in this game. The modern audience that they want to appeal to wasn't interested. The real gamers in this industry, like me, for example, like you, for example, clearly didn't respond very positively to it, and we don't need another game like this at all. Now, maybe it will come out and maybe it'll be amazing, but so far it is looking like a nightmare. And just taking a look over on the YouTube and seeing what the response is, yeah, it was not positive back in 2024. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? Old man opens the video and hits play. Free to play third person hero extraction shooter with rogue-like elements, pauses video and leaves. I am so sick and tired of developers putting every single label possible on a game to try to get more people interested when you need to go for quality over quantity. If you just told me it was a third-person shooter with some roguelike elements, okay, that's fine. But why do you have to put free to play in there first off? Why do you have to have it be a third person hero extraction shooter, then the roguelike elements? Like, it's way too much, especially when you take into consideration the fact that they had put out this trailer and clearly not much with this game was done, given we're hearing now that they had overhauled some of the systems in the game. So it just seems like they had shot first and asked questions later. They didn't really ask who was going to play this or why they would play this or what truly made it amazing and original and unique. They basically said to themselves, let's put every single type of title on this that we can and hope that it sticks. And so far it hasn't. IGN will give this a 7 out of 10. Who really wants another Concord? I mean, even looking at something like Apex Legends, that game had a lot of unique elements. So why would I choose this over that? The generic YouTube type beat trap instrumentals playing in the background is the icing on the cake. Somewhere, someone thought this game was a good idea. I guess if they really want to waste a lot of money, they're free to, but nobody's been interested in this so far. There's not a single positive comment here, except for comments of people saying this is going to be so funny when it releases to watch it fail, which I guess is positive, creatively bankrupt. This will be the first and last game by the studio. Corporation, the game, Concord 2, prepare to be concorded. So we are still a long ways away from this game finally releasing. They're only now replacing a studio lead that they fired 8 months ago, which definitely is a red flag. And if this game ever comes out, I just don't see a way that it's going to be particularly successful for them. I think that we've got enough Fortnite, Apex Legend, Concord clones out there, and we definitely don't need another. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.